Hi, I'm Jeff Haynes, editor at Tech Bargains, and today we're bringing you a video review of the HP Touchpad. Tablets seem to be the most popular electronic device on the market nowadays, and while it's a little bit too early to proclaim the death knell of the traditional laptop, it does seem that every major manufacturer is pushing its own version of the portable experience. HP decided to stake its own claim to the portable gold rush by recently introducing the HP Touchpad. But can it actually compete with the iPad and other Android tablets that are already on store shelves? The HP Touchpad is powered by a 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon dual-core APQ 8060 processor with 1 GB of RAM and comes in either 16 or 32 GB of storage. The tablet features a 9.7-inch capacitive LED display with a native resolution of 1024 by 768 and is supported by a Qualcomm Adreno 220 graphics processor. It's a large tablet at almost 9.5 inches wide, almost 7.5 inches high, and just over 0.5 inches thick. It packs a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera and microphone for video calls, as well as Bluetooth 2.1 and full Wi-Fi support. Other specs include flash support, Beats Audio-powered speakers, an accelerometer, gyroscope, compass, and light sensor. At first glance, the touchpad appears to be a serious challenger to the tablet crown, thanks to its glossy black finish and its comparable size to an iPad 2. In fact, there are a number of similarities for the system, ranging from the 9.7-inch diagonal screen to the exact same native resolution to a home button that allows you to access menus or wake the system up from sleep. But there are subtle elements that make you think this could be a more substantial system than other previously released tablets. For example, it feels thicker and more solid than other slates, so you get the sense that the touchpad could survive a fall or two, or even a few bumps from day-to-day use, without fearing that it'll break into little pieces. We also like the chrome accents on the power button and the volume, which made it seem a bit more refined than its competitors. Another plus of the touchpad came from its strong sound presentation, powered by the twin Beats Audio speakers. We haven't always been blown away by HP's Beats system on its laptops, but the decision to include two speakers more than dwarfs the monaural sound from most other tablets. Music sounds great when playing through the speakers, as do movie clips and gameplay from apps. In many ways, a lot of other tablet makers could take some cues from these speakers. The same could be said for the integration of Flash, which many tablets claim to support, but few actually provide. The touchpad plays Flash content for the most part, so we could access sites like Newgrounds and Hulu and check out content. We did run into some missing plugins here and there, like trying to watch something on GameSpot, but these seem to be few and far between, and definitely better than a lot of other tablets. When combined with the ability to run MPEG-4, H.263, and 264 video formats, the touchpad lets you surf the web with relative impunity. We also like the navigation of the tablet, which was incredibly intuitive and easy to learn with just a few minutes of experimentation, which led to some creative interactivity tricks for users. For example, while you may be accustomed to swiping from page to page on a tablet to access apps, it's pretty cool to flick away an open app to close it, or slide across open apps to determine which thing you want to return to. Users can also rely upon notifications of email alerts, instant messages, or other info items that pop up unobtrusively at the top of the screen. Whether it's accessing a file via the Just Type interface, or discovering apps within the unique Pivot magazine that acts as a visual representation of the app market, controlling the device is unbelievably easy. And if you ever get lost or confused, the touchpad comes with a number of web-based tips to help users learn how to control the tablet, as well as tutorial videos designed to teach you some more features of the device. Other slates should include features like this, especially as more users migrate to these systems. Combined with the multitasking capability of the tablet, the brilliance of the WebOS really shines through. Similar to the BlackBerry Playbook, users can easily open up a large number of apps, windows, or other bits of media and flick back and forth between open elements in a card-styled format. Users can easily reorder and even reshuffle the arrangement of cards to suit their preferences, making it easy to maneuver through currently running applications without having to close anything. We were impressed that we could run around 12 different apps at the same time without detecting any slowdown. In fact, the combination of the multitasking with the ease of the Just Type search feature that's virtually always at your fingertips and the full virtual keyboard makes it incredibly easy to see why HP has been thinking of exporting this OS to a variety of devices. Finally, with all of our tests, we wondered about the battery life of the tablet, particularly because you'd hate to be tied to a power outlet while you're watching movies, browsing the web, or downloading apps. HP claimed that the battery life was around 9 hours or so, and we found that it was pretty close to that depending upon your use. If you're browsing and downloading apps, you'll be closer to 8 to 8.5 hours, but if you're constantly watching video, it'll be a bit shorter. Even with all of these positives, there were sizable problems with the touchpad that made the system feel like it just wasn't ready for prime time. Allow me to demonstrate the first and most obvious one by starting up the system. The HP Touchpad is incredibly slow, and we're not entirely sure what it's loading or taking so long to initialize. Performing a cold boot easily ran between a minute 15 and a minute 30, which is an obvious contradiction to the 1.2 GHz dual-core CPU that's embedded in the tablet. While you typically don't need to start a tablet up cold, there are a number of moments where the tablet froze or needed to be reset, forcing us to endure the long startup all over again. Just as bad was the fact that the device took multiple seconds to open up most apps. We noticed delays ranging from 5 to 20 seconds before an app would launch, which is just inexcusable, especially if there weren't any other programs running at the time. With its technical specs, you'd expect it to fly, but it seems like it's just treading water most of the time. This crawling speed isn't simply left to the launch of apps or the tablet. Screen recognition of commands can be very laggy, requiring you to tap your selection or a link 3 or 4 times to actively get the right item chosen. The same goes for playback of videos on the web, which easily took 2 or 3 times as long as normal to load and buffer a video before play, and it frequently required a reload because the video stream would hitch or freeze. This was typical when we tried to watch shows or movies on Hulu. HBO Go, by contrast, was completely unusable. We also noticed that the playback would frequently break the page it was on if it shifted to landscape mode during playback. All flaws that never arose when we ran a video we loaded onto the tablet itself. Of course, even outside of speed issues, much of a tablet's success will live and die based on the apps available for download through its App Store. The HP app market is extraordinarily limited, and as of now it only has less than 5,000 total apps for launch with the device. This winds up being limited further still when you consider that a mere fraction of these apps within the market have been optimized for the tablet, leaving the rest in a much smaller emulated window when run. Also, a ton of apps are missing from the market, especially the popular ones. Netflix, Pandora, and similar apps are all missing. Even some of the apps the device launched with, like the Kindle app and the HP Movie Store, only went live on July 20th, 20 days after the device hit shelves, which is pretty disappointing. It's a bit hard to follow Pivot's lead to set up download reminders for something that doesn't have a specific ETA for app delivery, especially when there isn't much to begin with. Finally, there's a huge problem when you've got a device that doesn't have any way to edit documents. While it comes with an app called Quick Office, it only allows you to view and not edit any document, PDF, Excel file, or other file you access on the tablet. Another issue with the touchpad is its over-reliance on HP products, which limits the effectiveness of the device. For example, the tablet has an interesting syncing functionality called Touch to Share that will let you transfer items like your email, phone contacts, and calendar appointments by simply tapping devices together. However, this requires a WebOS-enabled device like a Pre or a Veer to take advantage of it. Similarly, users can match Bluetooth devices to the tablet to pick up phone calls, but only if they've synced it through one of the aforementioned phones. That means that there are significant features that simply won't be used by a large number of touchpad owners because they won't have the matching phone. Finally, aspects of the tablet just feel poorly designed. Let's look at the form factor to start with, because the additional weight of the touchpad at 1.6 pounds will make you use it lying flat or in a stand more than holding it. The uncomfortable nature of the device is exacerbated by the addition of the speaker grills on the left-hand side of the tablet, which dig their oval-shaped opening into your hand whenever you attempt to hold it. Plus, the shiny black exterior eventually gives way to hand grease and fingerprints, making it both hard to hold and slimy to touch over the course of a day. Make sure you use the cleaning cloth that's included with the tablet. Finally, we just don't understand why the device only included one camera, which seems useless. There are no apps for picture taking, assuming you wanted a 1.3 megapixel shot anyway, and trying to figure out how to best do video chat via Skype is quite literally a scavenger hunt by itself. We are extremely torn with the HP Touchpad. On the one hand, it comes with features like a great set of technical specs, flash integration, and a very promising OS for its users. On the other hand, it's tied with a large number of inconsistencies like a significant lack of apps, turtle-like speed, and technical issues that makes it really hard for any consumer to justify buying the device, especially at a price point comparable to the much superior iPad. Now, a lot of these problems can be fixed with future upgrades and patches, and we expect in an amended future this device will get a much higher score. But in its current state, we could really only justify giving the HP Touchpad a 3 out of 5. For more reviews on the latest products, as well as coupons and deals on devices like the HP Touchpad, be sure to check out techbargains.com.